Assalamu alaikum. Good evening and welcome to NTV Europe's weekly chat show, Talking Point. I'm your host, Syed Neaz Ahmed. In our studios today, we have a very distinguished person. He has worked for a number of years towards the development of an industry which is facing crisis. We will talk about the positives and the negatives of the subject. But before that, Mr. Oli Khan, he is president of BCA, that is Bangladesh Caterers Association's East England Region 1. Oli Khan is a Luton-based entrepreneur and more popular for his famous dishes and his curry outlets. Spice Rouge is a very famous Luton restaurant. TripAdvisor says its customers are particularly fans of its giant onion bhaji. And the giant onion bhaji has been likened to the small head of a baby. Welcome to the show, Oli Khan. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for driving all the way from Luton.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much for giving me invitation to come and talk and share some of the thoughts.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.
You have been in this business for quite some time. You have achieved a fame. You are a celebrity chef yourself. You were recently on Sky TV, and you were last week. You were on Financial Times. You have been very busy for the last few weeks. Yes.
Yeah.
For the benefit of our viewers, would you just recount where did this journey begin? This long journey of you becoming Mr. Oli Khan, becoming the celebrity chef and an entrepreneur.
Yeah, thank you. It's a fantastic question. I started my journey when I came to this country at the age of 17, almost 16 and a half to 17. I came, my father has been living in this country since 1962, and then he brought his family, like me, my brothers and sister, we all came to this country. And then at the beginning I started doing some courses, and then my father said you should do your own business.
Right.
So I started actually getting into the business.
Was he in the curry industry too?
Yeah, he was in the curry industry, and he had a few chain of restaurants in Kent.
And he provided you the base.
Yeah, he provided the best, but when we came here, he actually didn't have any business, because my father and my uncle, I must mention, they are both no longer in this world, but they have actually done a tremendous job for the curry industry, and they have had a chain of restaurants. In that time, like first restaurant they opened was before 70, and it's been runs very well, and they have
still there.
No, they are not actually. They are not.
No, they are not. But the restaurants.
The restaurant is not there either, because when I came to this country, before I come, my uncle actually moved to Bangladesh, and he opened an industry in there. And my father, who actually sold his business as well. So because by the time we came here, they actually become really old.
Yes.
Because I'm actually third in a family, so my three elder sisters are actually in the family. So when I started here, I actually started in curry house as a kitchen assistant.
Right.
And I only worked for 16 weeks. And I'm actually quick learner. So every time what I do, like I catch and then I try to learn, and then I try to do myself and make it a professional.
Was that in London?
No, yeah, first one in London. I start working in somebody else, and then after that, my father said, "Okay, because you're working in the industry, and we actually experience in this industry, so we should open a restaurant, and I'm going to help you." So I opened my first business in partnership with one of my partner in St. Albans, and that's where I started my business. And we ran the business for a couple of years.
Was it a sit-down restaurant?
It was a sit-down restaurant, yeah. It was about 65-seater restaurants that time. And that was in 1990s. And we opened the restaurants, and that's where I actually began. And then I've been
after that, you have not looked back.
Well, there is a ups and downs in life. There is although I have started the business without any experience, so I did not survive in the first business. So I had to actually, that time I I actually take the...
And you were young.
Yeah, I was very young. I was very young, and even though my partner was quite young as well. So my father was helping, but it's not good enough because we don't have enough experience. So I think we ran the business for about 2.5 to 3 years, and then I said it's not. And then also it's not only the business. That time it was quite a recession time. The Gulf War was...
Yes, 70s.
Yeah, and in 90s, Gulf War was there, and then the recession was there, so everything affected the business. We have to shut down the business after 2.5 years. Then I have actually started working for somebody else. Then I gained my experience. Then I started doing some courses as well at the same time, doing the business management and also other career-related courses. And I wanted to make myself established so that whatever I do it professionally.
Right.
So that's why I began, and then I opened my restaurant business in Scotland in 1995, and then ran the business.
Why did you move from St. Albans to Scotland?
No, actually originally I live in Luton all my life, and then I've opened the first one in St. Albans, and then I worked in Cambridge. Then I went to Scotland because I found the opportunity there. That if you it's a small restaurant, but I thought, no, let's try this one, and that's a really successful business. Although it's a small business, but it's a successful business was there. And then I just carry on, move on, and then my father got ill. He's got problems, so I have to look after him. So I have to calm down. So I have to look after him, and then I came to Luton again. Then opened my takeaway in Stevenage, the Surma Indian takeaway, and that's where I started. And
how old is Surma now?
Surma is about 15 years old now, 15 years old, and alhamdulillah, I'm doing really well.
And the Spice Rouge is about
Spice was about 6 years old. We opened it 2010, and then I got another branch in Luton as well, which is called Stopsley Surma. But this is, I own the building, I actually let it out because running 3 businesses together is quite difficult for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. See.
So I've been doing all these things, and then when when I actually become a lot of people start knowing me. There is a competition going on in 2002 from the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health. It's called as short as CIEH, and Food Standard Agency. They've been doing.
It's got national something award.
Yeah. I'll just explain you. So this is what they started, and then I actually took the participation. And from there, I won the local competition. I won the National Curry Chef winner at the local competition. That time there was 17 participants from Stevenage itself, and So I won that in 2002, and then in 2003 again, and that's really helpful for your business because that was one of the local.
People noticed you.
Yeah, they noticed me, and also that time the curry houses was a lot of problem in the curry houses in terms of food and hygiene, and they actually introduced that to improve those quality of the food hygiene in the curry houses, and local environmental health, the EHO, the local council, they actually supported this project, and that's why they started, and it runs for about 6-7 years, and then they stopped. But it's really helpful for the business. It really boost my business and given me the opportunity to who I am today.
Great. But after all this, you see, now there is a lot of talk about in newspapers and radios and magazines that curry is the staple food of Britain, see, the main food, the main dish, see. Even some of the celebrities go to these very famous restaurants and eat there regularly. It's been quite an impact. It's not just, would you call it Bangladeshi cuisine or Indian cuisine or Mughlai cuisine? Because some of the dishes are really, on the subcontinent, it's very difficult to differentiate between this and that cuisine. It's all mixed up.
Yeah, basically, I wouldn't say that this is an Indian curry or this is a Bangladeshi curry. I will call this is a British curry.
Right.
Because curry has been established in this country over 210 years now.
Right. When was the first restaurant?
The first restaurant was opened in 1809 in Portman Square by Sheikh Din Mohammed.
Yeah, it's an Indian chap.
Yeah, he's from Bihar.
Yeah.
And he's the one actually opened a coffee shop, and from that coffee shop he used to serve the curries. And that's when the curry actually started.
Probably they served to their own people, isn't it?
Yeah,
the Englishmen would not be interested.
Yeah, but there was some Englishmen was also like going there and trying the food, because if you think the British Raj, the British Empire, because they've been to the India subcontinent, like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and
they
so
knew
on.
the taste.
So they knew the taste, and they know their curries. So that time it started, and then after like quite a long gap, in between, nobody knows what happened. There's maybe some curry houses exist, but according to the records, we didn't find anything. But when it's become popular in 1950s and 60s, there was only 300 curry houses in all over the United Kingdom. And when our people came here, like a lot of the people they used to they came from. Majority of the Bangladeshi in United Kingdom are from Sylhet region. You probably know that. And a lot of the people are actually...
But they did not come here as chefs, you see.
No. When they came here...
This is the point, you see.
Yeah. When they came here, this country, a lot of them, they've been struggling to do a job. Some of them, they started working in a factory. Like that time, those...
leather factory.
And then the
textile.
The Vauxhall was quite popular at that time. The Ford garage was here. So people used to work in the car industry. And a lot of them, and a lot of the new people, they came in and they don't know what to do. So when and that time our people was really helpful, especially the Bangladeshi, when somebody have their own rented house, or maybe they brought the house, somebody come from Bangladesh, they always help them each other.
The community feeling was there.
Yeah, feeling was there, and then a lot of the people, they actually share one house with 30, 40 people. That was one of the good things that I had from my dad. And then when the industry started, and people actually, those curries that our father, the forefather, the grandfather, they have did it. They try to did it in our way, but a lot of the people, English people, they didn't like it, because when we eat curry in our house, a lot of the people prepare spicy food, some prepare just a medium. Yeah. But from there, we actually start gathering, those curries. When you say in curry house restaurants, you'll see a lot of different names. Chicken Ceylon, this from Sri Lanka. The Madras from one part of the India, the Vindaloo from one part of the India. The chicken tikka masala is a British dish. It's a British dish, but they actually adopt everything together and making this curry also mixed together. They thought, oh, this might be good. If you sell that if it's become a popular, then for that dish we might be busy in the curry house. Yeah.
So that's the dishes that we eat here. In a restaurant, in Bangladeshi restaurant here in London, see, they will be so different from that of a restaurant in Delhi.
Yeah, obviously it will be different, because this curry, you won't get the same curry in India or in Bangladesh, because the curry this was actually designed and created for the British people.
Okay, Oli Khan, we have to take a break here, and then when we come back, we definitely continue the discussion.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being with us. We'll be back soon after this break. Thank you.